that. Okay, so it's time to choose the winner of the Stacey Nash, The Stables at Hollyberry Farm sampler pattern that is being very generously sent to a lucky winner from Deborah S. in Australia. So I have, I've got the video loaded in. I've got the, what you can't see above here, I've got the word horse put into the text box. I've got 84 unique comments with the word horse in it. So let's see who wins. Here we go. Da, 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 da. Mary Kaufman. Congratulations, Mary Kaufman. I don't live on a farm, but always thought if I did, I would have a horse. Congratulations, Mary. You are the winner of the Stacey Nash pattern. So if you would like to, please email me, caroline@evertote.com. I will make sure that Deborah gets your address so that she can mail the chart to you. Congratulations. Happy Friday, Flosstube. Hello, crafty friends. I'm noticing my piles a little bit more today than I normally do, especially this one. I really need to get in there. This is mostly my twill down in here, but some of these colors I don't use very often, so I should go through them and make sure everything is okay. I've been looking forward to today for a while. I should say, have someone to thank for today's video. Patricia Goodson. Patricia Goodson, or Pat, she did sign off her email as Pat, so I'm going to call her Pat throughout this video. She sent me an email a number of weeks ago about, well, I think she was sending me a picture of her stitching to share at the end of the video, but she included such a wonderful letter telling me a little bit about herself, telling me a little bit about the cross-stitch shop that she had purchased her pattern from, and then she happened to say, I really think that you would like this designer. Have you ever checked her out on Etsy? And yeah, that's kind of like waving a red flag in front of me, because you guys, you know what I like to stitch, and I'm fairly, my tastes range quite widely in what I like, but generally if it's geometric, if it's monochrome, if it's big scale, I'm gonna like it and I'm going to want to stitch it. So Pat really hit the nail on the head with this one. So her email to me was just so interesting, and because it's her that is responsible for sharing today's focus on a designer, which is, of course, as you will have been able to tell from the screenshot today, LenaCrossStitch. LenaCrossStitch on Etsy. Just a little bit. I wanted to tell you a little bit about Pat first, actually, before we get into the designer, because Pat, interestingly enough, has done an interview with FiberTalk, and she happened to mention that the interview that she had done with them, she spoke a little bit about standing up while stitching. And I thought, that sounds pretty interesting. So what I've done is I've looked up the chat with FiberTalk. FiberTalk is always good for a listen. I think we all know that. Many of us already enjoy FiberTalk. It's a great listen. Gary and now Vanna do a great job. The older episodes with Christine, always, you know, really, really fun. I did an interview with FiberTalk, I think 2 years ago now. I know. So if you wanted to go and find that little nugget somewhere. So I'm going to include a link to Pat's interview in the drop down box below, and I can tell you that tonight, as part of my Friday off the grid stitching party tonight, because I can guarantee you, as soon as I have this video up, I'm putting on my party pants and I'm going to go and get my stitching ready. I'm going to make some coffee. I am going to eat a sandwich over the sink so that I don't have to do dishes. The family isn't around this evening, so I have a quiet house, and I'm going to stitch all night, and I'm going to listen to Pat's FiberTalk interview. So again, there's a link to that in the drop down box below. Another really interesting thing about Pat is that she is a professor and an academic writer. She's a professor at A&M University in Texas. Did I get that right? Texas A&M. Is it called university? In Canada, we call the name of our school plus university. So I live in London. The university here is Western. Used to be called the University of Western Ontario. Now it is just called Western or Western University. So to say Texas A&M, I'm going to assume that most Americans would know the school that I'm speaking about. And she's also a published author. Here's the title of her book: Becoming an Academic Writer, 50 Exercises for Paced, Productive, and Powerful Writing. Aren't we an interesting bunch? I mean, that's incredible. We have published authors in our midst. We're pretty lucky. So Pat, I'm just thrilled that you emailed me and that you started the dialogue. It's been you've led me down a rabbit hole. That is for sure. So Lena's Cross Stitch, focus on a designer today. I had heard of LenaCrossStitch before through X-Stitch MD. I've mentioned her before. That's Shiloh out in Nova Scotia. Lovely stitcher. Really, really great videos. She's always fun to watch and spend some time with. And I know that Shiloh is working on at least one of LenaCrossStitch designs. And I believe, I thought I knew which one it was when I was browsing for a really long time through the shop. But I couldn't quite peg exactly which one it was because there are a few that are similar. I know that it's a small tile motif and it fills up the entire design, and she was already quite far in this design. Now I'm a couple of episodes behind on Shiloh's video, so I'm going to assume that she hasn't finished it in the last month or so and I have missed that. But anyways, clearly I need to catch up with Shiloh tonight as well. So if you tend to like the same kind of charts that I do, like Northern Expressions Needleworks, Sampler Cove, any of the geometric monochrome designers, Long Dog Samplers, you know, I know Long Dog Samplers is not quite always geometric, but that kind of monochrome style, you are going to love this shop. Now, she also, the patterns as you see them, the cover photos are computerized graphic reproduction of the pattern. And you can also, they are also sold as filet, is it filet or filet? I think it's filet crochet. My father's mother, my Grandma Bert, used to do filet crochet, and you can use these charts for that style of crochet as well as cross stitch. And so, as we all know, those computer generalized photos are, they're pretty good, but you know, just looking at it, that if you actually put thread to fabric, it's going to be stunning. You can just tell. You can just tell. These designs are complex and beautiful. I say complex as in how they look. Don't ever be nervous about starting something like this, like these projects. If you are, you know, you don't need to be, I mean, a beginner stitcher. You may want to, you know, maybe dip your toe in the water a little bit more before you jump right into something like this. But what the heck, why not? It's one color. Get some fabric. These can be stitched on anything, any kind of fabric that you like. Aida, linen, even weave, you name it. It's one color. These are all going to be most likely cross stitch and back stitch with one color. That's it. It's easy. As long as you can count, you can pre-grid your fabric. You can even buy fabric that has the marks on it that give you those 10 block squares. It's just one X at a time. That's all it is. It's not hard. So if you've been, you know, hesitant at trying these patterns that are bigger in scale and maybe seem a little overwhelming, don't be afraid. They really are, they're not that hard and very satisfying. Very, very satisfying. Okay, so Pat sent me a photo of the one that she's actually currently working on, and it is called the Sampler Composition of Ornaments, Rhombus Squares. So I'm going to put a photo in here that Pat sent me of her stitching. And of course I included there as well a photo of the design as a whole, what it will look like when it's finished. She is stitching that on a 25 count 1/1 with DMC 793, using a little bit of 798 to highlight some sections around the current area that she's stitching, and then the rest will be 793. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. Just amazing stuff. So what I'm going to do to kind of end out this video, instead of doing the stitching from other people, I'm actually going to end the video today with a whole bunch of clips, pics that I've taken directly from LenaCrossStitch website, and I'm going to put those in with the music at the end so that you can have a little gander at just a few of the charts that I chose, because I couldn't choose one. I literally need at least another hour to browse through the shop, and I think I would be hard pressed to pick one. I must have seen at least 10 that I thought, I want to stitch that, I want to stitch that, I want to stitch that. They're phenomenal. They're the design, I just, what can I say? Pat knew it. I am very much attracted to that style and things of beauty. Enjoy, please enjoy. I hope that this was something a little bit fun for you today, and I'll be checking in with you again tomorrow for another quick daily crafty chat update. I hope you're well. I hope you'll join in with us tonight for the Friday Off the Grid party. There's a group on Facebook, Friday Off the Grid, and it's 6 hours of stitching if you can. If not, more or less, or you can do it tomorrow, or you can do it on Wednesday and post pictures then. It's just a chance to show off your progress and encourage others and admire everybody else's stitching. That's all. So off I go. Have a great Friday night, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow. Happy stitching.